Hello friends and welcome back. Super exciting weekend here. We are just outside of Revelstoke right now and we're going to go check out Canada's newest National Park Campground. Mount Revelstoke National Park actually opened up a new campground on July 15th of 2020, so it's only been open 2 months, a bit over 2 months right now, so we're going to go check that out. It looks like it's a super nice facility, so let's go check in. It's check-in time and see what this new National Park Campground has in store for us here. There was no check-in actually. We were expecting a national park to have a big check-in, maybe a firewood permit, someone to talk to about that kind of stuff, but we found our site here. We're in unit A6 and we backed in and then swerved onto an angle because our electrical cord should still reach that way, and our picnic table and fire ring over here are actually kind of located in that corner. So instead of just backing up and being able to get out there, we now get a bit more privacy. I mean, we're on the campground center apparently, so that's not a ton of privacy, but do what we can and back in that way, and now we have our own little corner here to ourselves. Should be nice.
Alright, so we're in our campsite here. Looks pretty cool. Unfortunately, it backs onto the campground center there, so not so private, but still not that bad. And we do have hookups here, which is always a bonus as well. Since this is like pretty much a brand new campground, we have no idea what it's like here, and I saw that they have some type of like micro cube campsites. I have no idea what that's about, but we're gonna walk around and check it all out.
The campground center actually was just a little bit of information. You had to wear a mask and only one person was allowed in the main area at a time, so nothing too cool there. But look at this tenting campsite. There's vehicle parking just at the base. Then you can actually hike up and in, and you have all these different little picnic table spots. They look a little close together in my opinion, but pretty sweet little area, at least up in the forest. Nice. So we're at the upper washroom area right now, and I saw the pictures online. That made me think this was a pretty fancy spot, but look at those sinks in there. That is not your average camping washroom experience, at least. So again, if you're not in a self-contained unit, maybe using your tent, or even if you wanted to get up here and kind of save tank water, that looks like a really nice washroom facility, dang. One thing that was kind of different about booking this national park online is they actually didn't give us the option, but they included in the price a firewood permit. So I think it came out to a bit over $90 after all the online reservation fees they charge you for booking online yourself, the firewood permit, all that kind of stuff. So, and that's for 2 nights here. But at least we're gonna take advantage of all this firewood. It looks like some nice big quality firewood at least. So we're gonna load on up here because we're at the end of the one side of the loop, carry it back to the campsite, and then we may peek around a bit more, but looks like we're having a campfire the next 2 nights since we paid for it anyways. Alright, that should last us, but our neighbor also offered us to give us 3 more pieces because he's not going to use them, so gonna run up there quick, chat with the neighbor, and grab that wood too. Firewood is all settled in, and I have some kindling split for a fire tonight. I'm now gonna settle in and use my whittling kit Alysha bought me for Christmas. I meant to pack it on our RV road trip this summer, of course, and I forgot it back in Salmon Arm. Huge bummer, so I used my pocket knife a little bit, but that whittling set Alysha got me honestly is so nice. It's got super sharp knives, it's got a strop so you can sharpen your knife in between cuts. It's got V-tools. I made that, oops, dropped it. I made this little cool diamondy, I forget what this star is called, it's a specific name, but practice all your V cuts, and I did that over winter last year real quick. So I'm gonna whittle away at that a bit, sharpen up my pocket knife, and then I think the plan is smokies for dinner tonight, and we're gonna kind of see what we can get up to otherwise, but feels good to be out camping again. No progress on the carving front. It's actually super dense firewood, of course, and I have some softwood at home, and I was like, I can just use this firewood and make something nice out of it, but honestly, a little tough to carve anything intricate without getting like sketchy by your hands and a lot of effort. So all I've done is chop away on some sticks and get us some little kindling going for the fire we're going to start here in a second. Alysha is back there resuming her painting from our last little weekend outing there though, so we'll have to get you an update. She says this is the weekend it gets done, so I guess time will tell.
Not done. It might not get done, but I'm working on it.
A to be continued perhaps, but still enjoying the campsite, and we're gonna get the fire going here. I'm gonna start that up in a second because hot dogs for dinner, and then we'll see what happens.
Alright, so we've been hanging out by the fire here, keeping warm because it's actually quite a chilly night tonight, but it's getting dark and it's actually time for our hot dogs. So we just had our hot dog sticks cooking off and getting all the dirt and grime off and stuff, and then we're gonna
cook our wieners.
cook our wieners.
I think I'm gonna do 2 hot dogs on 1 bun. Heard it here first.
Alright, well, let's get cooking then.
And good morning, everybody. So normally we RV with our cat, but we left her at home this weekend. We figured it'd be easier to leave her there instead of packing up her litter, her food, taking her out of the house when she's so comfortable. We thought maybe it's nice to have a weekend of just the 2 of us. But the craziest thing happened last night. Around 3:30 in the morning, Alysha woke me up and we heard some like rustling in the garbage. Kind of sounded like a frog hopping, but we figured a frog wouldn't be inside, of course. And it ended up being a mouse inside the RV. We've never had any rodent problems or anything like that before. I mean, having a cat, she probably would keep them all scared away, but we were peeking around and I had the flashlight shining up to the front slide here, and I actually saw it pop its head around. And then at one other time, I had a Red Bull can in here that I bought yesterday as a little treat for our road trip, and I heard it start clanking on the can. So I got up, we threw the garbage out, we kind of swept up the house and tidied it up a bit. Not that it was dirty, but took the garbage can out, threw the Red Bull out, and then we put down some bounce sheets underneath the slide. We read they didn't like bounce sheets and strong scents, and it stopped making noises as it stopped rustling, but I think we were awake for like an hour and a half last night, so took a good sleep in at least. But when we get back to Salmon Arm, we're also going to buy some mouse traps. I may even spend the night in the RV one day this week with Kat and see if that kind of helps scare it away or if it's still in here or not, but fingers crossed, we haven't heard anything, so maybe he got scared away from me banging the broom around and making a ruckus, but dang, that is not something you want to find inside your RV. But we're now going to actually start making some lunch because we had a nice sleep in, and we're going to do a lunch brunch. We're going to do an egg roll in a bowl, as we like to do, so we're going to get down to cooking and get eating.
We got all of our veggies and stuff chopped up for our egg roll bowl. This recipe has really evolved from the first time I made it for sure. I mean, we really just use any veggies that we have in the fridge left over, like we have carrots, broccoli, and onions today. And we would almost always use a ground meat instead of chicken, but today we have chicken breast, so we're going to use that because that's what we had. So we're just going to mix that all up with some coleslaw. Again, like normally I would use a head of cabbage, but the thing with cabbage is they're so huge, and like the grocery stores normally don't like cut them in half or anything for you. So fitting them in the RV fridge is a real struggle, and we don't ever use it all before it goes bad. So I find just grabbing a bag of coleslaw and using all of this in one of our meals that we make, it works perfectly. So we're gonna use that. Let's get cooking. And I also forgot to mention, I cut up all the chicken in little chunks, and then I put like probably 2 tablespoons of flour in there and mixed it all up. And that's just so when it cooks in the oil, it gets a little bit crispier. And then when we put the sauce in later, it's gonna kind of help to thicken the sauce a little bit, so it's not so saucy and it's more just like a egg roll bowl. So it's all finished cooking now, and look at how much that cabbage cooked down. Like, I used the whole bag of coleslaw. It looked ridiculous when you put it in, but it cooks down so much, and there's so many veggies in here, and it's so like compact. I just feel like it has to be so healthy for you. So we're gonna eat this up, and then I think we're gonna go for a little drive.
So thank you to Alysha for our yummy healthy meal here. And don't forget your mayonnaise sauce. We actually bought sriracha mayo this time, so I don't know if you can get much more official for a mayonnaise sauce for this dish than this. Ooh. Ooh, 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 ooh. Alright, that should be good. And then yeah, it's been a little bit of a rainy, gloomy day out, so we're going to have lunch here. We only have our power cord out right now, so we're going to pack that up, put it in the RV, and go for a bit of a drive, because here at the Snowforest little campground in Mount Revelstoke National Park, there's actually a road you can drive that goes to different viewpoints, and it's a pretty nice little windy hill drive, get a view of Revelstoke, and it actually even goes to a hike if you want to go for a hike as well. It's a bit too rainy and gloomy for us today to want to go hiking, but still should be a good drive to get out of the campground instead of just sitting inside watching the rain and gloom roll by at least.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane, and as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all.
And here we are at the lookout point. I think if you keep going up the hill even more, you'll find another lookout point, but pretty good view of Revelstoke. You can actually see the bridge we came across. You can see the glacial blue rivers. There's still a bit of smoke in the air today, unfortunately, and the rain's let up a little bit at least. You can see it's still kind of rainy and hazy everywhere else, but pretty good little out and about. Taking the views here. The drone footage you just seen of the views coming up is actually going to be in the future, because we're going to go into town now that we're unhooked and grab a few more groceries real quick and go get some more drone footage today as well. Hopefully that turned out well with the kind of overcast weather, but overall pretty good. I would say if you're going to visit the Snowforest National Park Campground here, to try and get one of the campsites on the outer side of the loop. Wasn't my favorite campground where we were. I would say campsite A6 is the one you want to avoid the most where we were, just because we backed onto that check-in center. It's actually just an info center, but every single person that came in basically stopped there and checked in. There's also some visitor info stuff, so people were constantly going there. So between not having many trees for privacy and being right on the road where every single vehicle came in right past you with no privacy, it was a little not very private for our liking, but there was definitely some really nice camping spots. The tenter sites looked beautiful, so if you're thinking about coming here and tenting, that might be great at least. All those walk-in spots were just beautiful, so I give it a eh. Getting a mouse kind of sucked. I'll keep you updated in the future videos. If we ever get any luck, we're gonna buy some mouse traps eventually, just in case it's still in there when we go back home. But maybe it's just because we didn't have cat, but we've never had a mouse problem up until now, so maybe camping with a cat and RVing with the cat's the way to go. Maybe we just got unlucky here. Who knows, but overall, still a fun little trip to get out to Revelstoke, and beautiful area at least.
Alright, well anyways, we're gonna head back down the hill here. There are a whole bunch of really cool looking hiking trails up here, but like we said earlier, it's not really the right weather or the right like atmosphere outside to be going and doing a hike with the view. So we're gonna head back down the hill, but we're actually gonna call it there for this vlog. We hope you guys enjoyed it. We sure enjoyed getting out for the weekend and exploring a new campground.
Yeah, it's pretty cool that, again, this is Canada's newest national park campground, so we had to come check it out and see what it's all about at least. It's pretty cool that it's brand new, so that was fun.
And then make sure you guys stick around for our next video that's coming out, because we've got some very exciting news about our 2021 travel plans. You won't want to miss it.
Yeah, we have some big plans. We're going to share what we're thinking so far. We also want to have some feedback from all of you out there though, so we're going to need you there to help us out, because we have a few ideas for next year and we're going to want to get a good discussion going about it with you all. So we'll see you in the next video. Otherwise, leave a like on this one if you enjoyed it, and we'll catch you there, friends.
See ya!
Bye!